What up, y'all? This is your boy Gerald. It is the 28th of April, 2016. How is each and every one of y'all doing? You're halfway through your work week, y'all, and I hope that wherever you are, life finds you well. You are grounding your feet, speaking your truth, sidestepping the negative, but more importantly, you're loving you. You're loving you, y'all. I think a lot of y'all are starting to come to understand the price that is required, what is demanded by your legacy. You see, your legacy was already written the moment that you took your first breath, y'all. And some of y'all are starting to see that through what is being revealed in your life, directly or indirectly. But I'm putting this out for reassurance for some people because I understand some of y'all are going through some hard things. That's right. I know I'm speaking to someone. Things that you thought were firm, foundation already placed so that you can base off what you know as a platform to the next step and direction of your journey. The definitions that make you you, because there'll never be another you. You're being tested. The validation that what you thought was forever has been shaken up. The perceptions that you thought that were unbreakable, I know I'm talking to someone, are fragile than a piece of rice paper. You know why? It comes back to your spirit, y'all. Some of y'all may have said, you know what? I know, like the air that I breathe, that this is going to be my norm. To wake up in another dynamic. You're saying to yourself, it was all good yesterday, but you can't get back yesterday just like you can't get the moments of hearing my voice. But I'm going to let you know something. The battle that you're feeling, the animosity that you're feeling, the things that should be concrete, that are being ever so changing, has to come to pass. It has to. I say this for you. That's why I say to the intended heart and mind, it's time for you to come on home. It's time for you to come on back home, back into the real you. I'm not talking about the person that is seen in the world, because we already know there's 7.6 billion people on this planet, and half of them wear fake masks just to make it through the day. I know I'm talking to someone. Just like phases and stages, evolution of your direction should be sought of. These are the things that make you you. So guess what? Since we're talking about your legacy, that precious, most irreplaceable thing, your life. There'll never be another you. That's why it's so important that you protect it. And some of y'all are starting to see that now. Some of y'all are starting to have epiphanies. Some of y'all are starting to see things play out indirectly in your life, but you feel it as if it was your battle, your burden. But actually, it is your wisdom. Because once again, you think your life is going to come to pass the way you fulfill it without putting God in front of it? Nah. And I say this with grace. I say this with love because I done been there. I started my walk October 18, 2011. I had to learn through pain. But you'll come to see that pain is really nothing but an instrument to recalibrate your direction. Sometimes it's going to be bumpy. Sometimes it's going to be smooth. Sometimes it's going to be like you're feeling you are alone. But you ain't alone. The devil's a liar. Some of y'all starting to understand that the devil will give you anything you want, but never the things you need. That's why they can't last. You're saying again, it was all good yesterday, to find out that that was nothing but the indoctrination of your next burden. You're starting to find out that that investment wasn't built to stand the test of time. But I keep trying to convey this to you because I love each and every one of you. Anything that is made with man's hands will come with expiration. Why? Because man hasn't mastered forever. I know I'm talking to someone. I keep trying to convey this. Every time that you try to do something without God in front of it, you can't be protected. It's not his will. It's your choice. Which goes back to what I've echoed. The two precious gifts that God has given you was the ability to love yourself unconditionally. So that means to love yourself unconditionally, that means you must cater to you. That means this gives you a platform to define what matters most. You. Y-O-U. So what you're afraid of. Only you see, what you hear, what you interpret. These are what is attracted to you. We are what we attract, y'all. But I'm gonna tell you what, that devil knows that because the moment that you took your first breath, he already knew your legacy too. And I know that some of y'all may have had a rough start. Some of y'all were under spiritual attack. And that's the reason why some of y'all have seen the things and felt the things at a young age. Well, guess what? That doesn't give you the right to pick that shield up called ignorance. It doesn't give you the right to disrespect yourself, thinking that there's no ramification. Why do you think we have knowledge? Why do you think we have insight? Why do you think we have wisdom? You know why we are able to interpret these things? Because you're gonna see it again. I know I'm talking to someone. That's right, King. I share this with you. You think it's meant because you are breathing, you have your internal organs, you have that beautiful mind with endless potential, which is required for you to invest in it. You think you're supposed to play the one that is the doormat? You're supposed to be the one that is the martyr? That you are the one that is supposed to be the scapegoat? None of that happens when you decide to invest in your life. So you may be in a rough spot right now that it feels like someone pulled the rug proverbially from under your feet. Someone that you may have felt that you would give your last breath to because they earned the right to walk with you. But you're coming to understand that that wasn't blessed. That was nothing but a tool. That was nothing but deception incarnated, waited at the intended time for you to embrace. See, that's how the devil is. See, the devil already knows. So you can't fool, you can fool them, but you can't fool yourself. That's why they don't feel what you're feeling. They'll never be there when you need them. They'll only come around when it's convenient for them. Or they're doing this, but they're not putting anything in there. Do you not see the nuances going on? Now, I'm not sitting up here throwing more salt on the wound because Gerald prays for it. I am a spiritual being first because we get rid of this, the spirit will always prevail. This is nothing but a means of transport on this earthly realm. That's why it's so important that you fall back in love with you, that you invest in who you are. Do you know who you are? Do you know? Because if you're basing your personality dynamic on what's found in your pocket or the size of your backside or what you did behind closed doors, I'm gonna tell you what, all you're doing is setting a platform for more denial and pain. And you know what is prevailing in that situation? That builds a foundation of fear. Finally, everything's a reality. And that is the reality that you're seeing. Because, see, everything that is found within you is disseminated through a spiritual realm first. So we attract what we are, y'all. Somebody thinks, somebody had reached out and said, Gerald, why are you so direct when it comes to women? And, that's unrealistic. Women want to feel a certain way, and times have changed. But let me tell you what, if changed, if time had changed so much, then why have a mate? Because God already knew for you to become the person you're destined, you're gonna need a man. You're gonna need a mate. And that mate is gonna be blessed because they're gonna have the keys to the other side of your life. Not Chief J Stronglegs that you met last night that don't give a damn about you. Oh, sure, he'll get you off and he'll rip you off too. I know I'm talking to someone. You say to yourself, well, Gerald, I want someone that I can feel safe and be true to. Don't you realize God don't need your help to bring you the companion that you need? Not what you want, what you need. Because that person is going to enter your life the moment that you have completed preparations to be loved. But you can't attract love if you don't love yourself first. I know I'm talking to someone. That's why you don't like what I hear, but what I'm telling you, because I'm telling you the truth. I'm speaking to your heart. If you're tired of feeling like you are the entertainment, not the focus, not the investment, you're tired of people looking at you in a certain dynamic, why won't you look at yourself? Because we treat people how we want them to treat us. So if you constantly are embracing denial, denial is going to be given in return. If you convince yourself to believe your denial in your lies, you can't build a life on a lie. That's why running, people actually spend a great portion of their lives running from themselves. They spend a portion of their time not being able to look at the truth. But guess what? Those things that you choose to run from don't go nowhere. They actually take on a life on their own. And I realize that some of y'all are realizing that because you're saying to yourself, if I could get back time, like R. Kelly, if I could turn back the hands of time, the things I know now, if I knew then. But your pride and your ego is what's gotten you there. That queen didn't deserve to be called queen because she didn't respect herself. She couldn't respect herself because she still doesn't know who she is, because she won't drive her feet on that firm ground. She's too busy watching what the next woman's doing. She's too busy plotting a way to find validation that is cheap and temporary instead of loving herself, only to suffer in silence, only to convince yourself, well, it didn't kill me, so I guess I can make another day. And if this is the best of all of me, The devil's a lie. The devil wants you to settle. You know why the devil wants you to settle? Because you won't see your worth. So guess what? Like the legend, and I'm gonna tell you what, he will be missed. You know, Prince made the song "Thieves in the Temple" and "Thieves in the Temple," and it's so all his work was metaphorical, by the way, which means you had to open your mind to hear what he was saying, directly or indirectly through lyrical content. But when he made the song "Thieves in the Temple," people thought they were the structure. Well, guess what? We can just peel that back, and we're talking about the body. And there's a lot of robbery going on right now. There's a lot of people being vandalized and traumatized and disrespected to no end, all because they refuse to stand. He won't hold your hand, but he likes to do those things that make you scratch your head, huh? That ain't love. You know it ain't love because you can't go to sleep at night and be at peace. If you live in your life and you constantly having to look over your shoulder, remember the things you said, and have a game plan on where you're going just to be in the confounds of a certain group of people, let me tell you something. That's not where you're supposed to be. It never was. And so therefore you will never find comfort there. You'll never be at peace. You know that. You're aligning yourself with this person because of how they look. You should ask yourself, do they have a relationship with God? Because if they don't have a relationship with God, they'll never have a relationship with themselves. And if they don't have a relationship with themselves, guess what? They'll never have one with you because they will never be able to see your worth. And since they can't see your worth, guess what? They don't value theirs. I know I'm talking to someone, but let's flip it. Imagine the person who does. Imagine the person that puts the work in. Imagine the person that puts God first. Guess what? All your desires and dreams are their reality. But see, we live in a world where people burn bridges like swaying tennis shoes. You scuff them up, and instead of taking the time to wipe them off, you throw them to the side, only to pay the price later on. I'm not making light of it. This is the reality because we live in a assertive but narcissistic world where accountability is not there. It shouldn't cost your heart. Some of y'all are seeing this because the fact that you will not be true to you, your finances are being beat the hell up right now. I know I'm talking to someone. You think you're supposed to be going through those financial problems you're going through? You really think? Maybe if you just ground your feet and look around your circle, you'll come to see where the leaks are going. Come on now. Come on. So what's going on right now, y'all? We are in a season of truth. What you see is a representation and a reflection of what's found in your heart. I know I'm talking to somebody. This person told you they had forever written on their heart for you, but forever came and gone in a matter of a day. That's a prime example that these people do not love you. Only thing they love to do is waste your time. So why are you there? If your spirit is telling you these things, why won't you embrace them? What's the worst thing that can come from that? They don't have access to you, but why would you want to have access with someone that is detaining your growth? Why are you allowing people to have access to hear you breathe? I don't say that to be smug, y'all. I don't. I want you to understand this. When it comes to your life is like the ultimate job interview for one. The VIP. You are the VIP. So you're going to have many of people that are going to be interested because there is only one you. So you're going to have resumes and auditions. But guess what? The person that is going to inherit that right will be just like you. They will walk with grace and place God first in everything they do. And I'm here to tell you, see, you can fool them and you can hang out in the cheap seats. And I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. Your life is gonna just deplete. Come on now. Look where you've been at. Look who was there. And ask yourself, was God, do you think God would actually took you through those things? Huh? See, God will never strong arm you to do what he needs because number one, he don't need your permission to guide your life. It's not your responsibility to have him come to you. It's your responsibility to come to him. And when you decide, you'll finally know what peace of mind is. You didn't turn around and tried every little thing, stages and phases through different phases and experiences. Some were blissful, some were titillating, some were stimulating, but they all were different forms of pain. But guess what? Even when pain, there's wisdom if you're truthful to yourself. And let me turn this corner too, because I know there's someone, you're broken right now. You feel like everything that you embraced, everything that was told to you was a lie. And I'm here to tell you this. If you admit to yourself, finally, you'll actually see where the devil stepped in. Because let me tell you what, y'all, demons exist and demons must stay employed because they have a job to do. But before they can do their job, they must find someone that they can possess, only for you to not notice. And there's a pain, there's a disappointment. Sometimes it's over the top just to distract you for that kitchen sink to be thrown in the back of your head. You've had some that even have come to you boldly and said, you better do this or else I will. Well, why don't you say go right on ahead? What's keeping your feet contained? What's keeping you there when you're not at peace? Your truth. Because see, I told this to someone the other day. If you know you have challenges and flaws, and we all do, but you refuse to start to work on each one. First of all, take the stopwatch out of your life. If you know you got to heal, why are you compounding it with more distraction? I know I'm talking to someone because they said the things you wanted to hear. That's why you need to discern, because even wolves put on sheep's clothing. But see, they're not going to come to you correctly. They're not going to tell you, hey, my whole objective is to take advantage of you, mind, body, and spirit, and I'm going to use you up because we know the truth. You ain't going nowhere because you're too focused on what's found below, not what's found in my heart. No, not what's found in my actions. And a lot of people are catching L's because of it, because they refuse to love themselves. They refuse to be transparent, which means you must be vulnerable to you. You got to stop lying. Don't you realize every lie that you take, that's 2 steps back from you? Huh? Come on now. I know I'm talking to someone. You are so caught up on what someone else's grass is and won't cut yours. But if you decided to cut yours, you would see the snakes. I know I'm talking to someone. See, until you take your last breath, you got a job to do. That is to grow. Nobody's going to do that for you. There's no free easy pass. But see, a lot of people think, well, you know what? If I'm chief lover man, that's all I got to do. I keep giving that, she ain't going nowhere. But you come to notice with those people this, because time has a way of revealing all. Haven't you noticed the people that ain't doing nothing with their lives? They go through a whole lot of stuff they shouldn't have. And then eventually it gets to a point that it starts to consume them too, because they go through a HOV, like the HOV lane. You start to you start to age before your time. You say, well, Gerald, I understand that my health ain't the way it is. Your health is the way it is because you refuse to invest in it. There's no wisdom in foolish behavior. That's why God wants you to invest in your temple, because your temple is not temporary. I know I'm talking to someone. When you get off your ego trip, you'll get back to your life. But until you're able to speak your truth, you'll never be free. That's what freedom is. It's your spirit. It's to be able to walk without fear, but have awareness. But more importantly, as I was out today, I had some errands. Why would you align yourself with someone that can't grow? That's a choice, right? You do know that, right? And it's a block. And it's a soul tie too. And it's a contradiction, because you know what you need. You see it play out all the time. People will try to reinvent the wheel. You can't fake an original. The original is you. You put the worth on you. But if you constantly base your direction instead of the investment, and you base it on what's outside your door, you might as well go ahead and have a PIN number on your bank account so anyone can take from it. And I know some of y'all going through that too. She promised she was going to do something, and she did. She set you back more than you were before she came into your life. Stop taking the victim out. But see, I also know this. You got to love yourself more, because there's a lot of people that have a love affair with their denial. And they choose that because that's all they know. They choose that position because they know that if I try something different, this is unknown territory. But you'll come to understand that unknown territory is your growth. Now tell me you don't deserve that. Tell me you don't. Tell me that your life don't matter. And I'll show you a person that ain't grown. I'm saying this to someone. I got this feeling. Something occurred this week that shook you to the core. Yes, it did. And no matter how hard you tried to look at it in a different angle to find logic in that, so it was justified, you ain't at peace. You know what you got to do. You know that's your spirit. That's that person that you're going to become that is basing their position back. See, you don't understand that the person you are destined to be, that beautiful person that's full of wisdom, will have a story to tell. Your life is the canvas so the world can see it. But I also understand this too. In silence, there are shackles. And you feel that it doesn't matter. This is going to be your reality. And you're right to a degree. It is going to be your reality if you don't love yourself, if you don't have a connection with God. What has got you so stuck that you can't go within your, don't you realize to have a connection with God, it comes from your heart. Mm-hmm. The same heart that you've had when you were a little boy, little girl, with them big, beautiful eyes looking out into the world. Endless possibilities of what you would see and become and embrace. These are all the makings of you. But you let your friends, and here's the ironic. Some of y'all are starting to realize that the people that you thought were your friends were only opportunists in wait, and one by one they're being exposed. One by one, the communications of conversations shared for paper thin. That's why it's very important to learn to say the word no. Because the word no does not mean forever. It means under review. Some of y'all will get that. But see, when we're talking about your life, why are you settling? Because of what they bring to the table? They already know what they bring to the table, and they also know how they got you. And I guarantee you, God ain't nowhere near that. You know that. The people that love you know that. That's why they pray for you. They pray that you will see it for yourself and come through it. Why do you think things come back? Why do you think the scriptures and the Proverbs always say what is done in the dark comes to the light? Because it's truth. So who's speaking your truth? Them? The people that only want to distract you from it? Because see, that's what opportunists do, y'all. They already see your uniqueness. That's why they came to you. Like a moth to a flame, they saw how genuine your life was, as well as how it could make theirs better. And you're starting to see that too because you're feeling this. That's your discernment saying, hey, I deserve better. I'm tired of holding someone else's burden and I'm claiming mine. That's the only way you're going to get through it. You have to stop running and come on home back to you. So you can go ahead, be like your little girlfriend, or better yet, your boyfriend, or your stick man, because your friendships are nothing but a reflection of your state of mind. So, with that being said, look at every disappointment that you've gone through and ask yourself, what was my state of mind at that time? And I guarantee you, you'll be able to find association and a connection on how you came to be. Because, see, you got to understand something, y'all. Two broken people can't make a whole relationship. I know I'm talking to someone. They'll promise the moon and give you the stars, but they won't grow but they expect you to move mountains. God is praying for you. You know who I am. I see your worth. And for that, for that, for that, it helps me discern mine. When you don't take that price tag off of your body, don't you realize until you see your worth from within, all you're going to do is attract the people that will never value it. Come on, think about it. You can get them, but they'll never stick around. You know why? Because it was never there to hear you breathe to begin with. It's time for you to love yourself more and come on back home to you. If you're feeling what I'm saying, hit me with a like. If you're going through something, drop me a line. And it's okay. I know you're afraid. I feel your energy. But guess what? I stay prayed up and I pray for you because I know someone prayed for me. You gotta listen. Life don't stop because there's a block in front of it. You place God in front of it and it's blessed right on through. Claim your life back. Love to hear from you. Stay blessed.